Faraz, better known as Laced Heat on social media, Instagram, Twitter, etc. This is my first video I'll be posting in my YouTube channel. Now, I've had this specific channel itself for about 3-4 years. I posted a introduction video 4 years ago, and then nothing. Like, I just didn't post another video after that. So this is me attempting to actually make my first actual Instagram video. For my first video, I'll be doing what a lot of people have been doing, is a top 10, but in my case I'll be doing a top 16. I did have a little too many pickups this year to only choose 10, and since it is 2016, I figured I'd pick 16 different sneakers. Alright, I'm going to start off the list with all my Reeboks that I have included in the top 16. Reason being is obviously I'm a huge fan of Reebok. Not too many people wear the brand like they used to back in the 80s and 90s, but I've always been a fan of theirs. They've always come out with some really high quality products. So number one on the list is actually a collaboration with a boutique from Australia called SNEAKERBOY. The shoe is retailed for actually $250 US, which was quite pricey. Usually you see the Fury collabs range from about $160 to $180, sometimes $200. So this was $250 was quite high. Now the upper is made of an Italian calf hair. So it's like, I don't know if you can see that, but it's actual calf hair on the back, tongue, and toe cap. Up here on the bladder, usually these Pump Furies are actually made of a textile material, but on these it is almost like a rubber-like material. These also have a strip going from here to the toe, from on the side here, which is not usually found on Insta Pump Furies, but I noticed Reebok's been doing that lately on a few of them. It's got an all-white pump, and then it's got dual branded insoles. We got leather lining with a leather insole, and then oversized rubber SNEAKERBOY branding on the heel, and then another oversized rubber pull tab on the tongue. So I was able to get these actually for about $100 off retail from Concepts during their Black Friday sale. So I kind of waited on them because the retail was quite high, but I'm glad I waited because I was able to get them for a price I was willing to pay. Next up in the list of top 16 of 2016 is actually 2 sneakers. Both were released by Capsule. There's a boutique in Toronto. It's a collaboration they did. The bottom pair is the Wind Chill pair that came out during All-Star Weekend, limited to 500 pairs. And the top pair actually is the Friends and Family Anniversary Edition. Those were actually originally supposed to release during All-Star Weekend as well as the Friends and Family release. But what ended up happening is they kind of held off on it and waited until they opened up their second location and released this as almost like a Hyper Strike type of thing, where there was no information about it. The sneaker literally just released out of the blue. The only information was a teaser the night before on Instagram. So these are actually limited to only 36 pairs in the world. I have 2 of those. There's really nice leather lining on the inside. Leather upper with some long-haired suede here. Suede on the heel, and then suede on the toe cap. And then we got some, this looks like almost like a ballistic nylon, and then a white outsole. So these ones are limited to 36 pairs only. And the wind chill, I doubled up on these ones as well. These are limited to 500 pair, which is the first time they used corduroy on a Reebok Question. There's some 3M over here. Long haired suede on this side, which is kind of cool. On the back, if you look, it splits off. Then they use the corduroy on the other side down here, and then long haired suede at the top. Whereas on this side, it's the corduroy at the top. This box itself, Reebok sent it to me when they made me an influencer a couple years back. So I used it to put these two sneakers in there, since they're both very limited and hard to come by. So these two pairs obviously are the display pairs, and then there's the pairs that I'm actually going to wear, which are in the boxes down there. The last pair of Reeboks on the list to round out the top 4 is the Melody Ishani Reebok Question collab that was released for the 20th anniversary of the Reebok Question. These are definitely one of the most premium questions to release ever. The entire upper is made of a vachetta tan leather. Almost looks coral-like though as well. The upper here is a long hair suede. The tongue is embossed and says "Hold My Own." We have a satin lining on the inside with some sort of print, and then there's a bandana print. I don't know if camera's gonna catch that or not. On the insoles, everything is debossed, like the logo. There's no stitching on here. Same thing on the back here. Question logo on the back again, embossed. A cool feature on these sneakers is usually the Reebok Questions, obviously on the back tab there, it has the number 3 for Allen Iverson. This sneaker came with an extra bag of tabs that you can add on the back. One has, like, I don't know if you can see that, praying hands. Another one says fame. And they can just be added. They came with 6 different tabs that you can add onto the back. Very, very nice sneaker. There you go. And that is the number 4 on the list, which is the Reebok Question Melody Ishani collaboration. Number 5 on the list is the first pair of Adidas. Now these technically did release originally in 2015, but 2016 early on, the Foot Lockers in the US had a restock on these chalk Ultra Boosts, the navy as well, which I also picked up. Both version 1 of the Ultra Boost were released in early 2016. I was able to get my hands on these. I had a friend in the US who was able to go there, pick me up a pair at retail, which was $180, and he just shipped them to me at retail plus shipping. So great guy. His name's The Flavors. If you want to check him out on Instagram, he's got a pretty big following on there. So and he's always posting latest releases, and he has quite a few pickups that he picks up himself on a daily basis. So really good dude. You don't see that too often. So the chalk Ultra Boost, one of my favorites, I was able to pick up for retail in 2016. So that's number 5 on the list. Next up on the list is the Adidas Woodwood Ultra Boost collaboration. They was released in late February 2016, early March, and I was able to get my hands on both pairs. This is the men's version. There was also a woman's version that was laceless, that had a strap that went across the entire upper. These are also a V1 Ultra Boost. Has Woodwood branding on the tongue. And on the heel, what's interesting on these is that they had 2 different colored heel tabs. And the shoes came with 2 sets of laces. They came with a black and white almost zebra print, and then a one orange lace, and then one blue lace if you wanted to mix it up. So, but again, it only came in with one of each color. So if you were going to switch out the laces, you'd have to wear one blue, one orange. This shoe reminds me of the Ultra Boost, or sorry, the Hypebeast collaboration with its all white, all black upper. The only difference is that, to be honest, is the cage here, which is 3 individual straps, which can easily be removed. The Hypebeast collaboration didn't have that. Other than that, the shoe is pretty close. Very, very nice sneaker. And it's actually one of the only Ultra Boost collaborations that I was able to get my hands on this year, since all the other ones sold out. I was really looking forward to the Soulbox ones. Wasn't able to get my hands on them. Next on the list is the LIVESTOCK ADIDAS Pure Boost Zero Gravity collaboration. These released along with another pair of sneakers that weren't as popular but were just as nice, was the Adidas Samba. This collaboration honestly came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it. There was really no information on these. Then LIVESTOCK, out of the blue, released a video with both pairs of shoes, and a week later both sneakers came out. You don't see many shoes. I think there's only Colors is the only other brand that collaborated on this sneaker. I'm not even sure if White Mountaineering did or not, but it's a really nice shoe. The entire upper is prime knit. Usually on this specific sneaker, the strap here is made of a plastic or rubber, but on this one it's actually a mesh. Sneaker came with 2 sets of alternate laces with the LIVESTOCK branding on the tongue here. Not sure if that'll focus. There we go. 3 stripes on the side here, just like on the uncaged Ultra Boost. And then there is a leather heel cup on the back here with a speckled midsole and an all-white outsole. Alright guys, the second to last pair of Adidas that made this list was the Foot Locker Europe exclusive Adidas NMD XR1. Now, I was able to get these from my sister, actually, who was living in Europe at the time. I asked her to go, when they released, I sent her, I'd seen them on Instagram, and I sent her a picture of the sneaker. She was actually out of the country at the time, but when she came back, it was a week after they had released, and to my surprise, they still had a ton of pairs in stock. So the NMD over in Europe apparently isn't as big as it is, at least here in Canada, or they're getting so many pairs that there's just enough stock for everyone. One of the two. The entire upper on these is actually a mesh, not prime knit like most other XR1s. There's almost like a Sixers like colorway on here with the red, blue, and white. There is 3M laces, leather heel tab here, and then just the hit of red on the bottom. I still haven't worn these, and these do fit actually true to size, unlike the regular XR1s that you have to go down a half size. These are actually true to size. And the last pair of Adidas to make the list, obviously had to add a Yeezy on the list, as it was almost near impossible shoe to obtain this year. One of the most hyped up releases, but also one of the most comfortable sneakers as well. When I got these, I was shocked to find out how different they fit compared to the original 350s. With the originals, my true size is 11.5. With Adidas, I normally always go down to an 11 on most of their sneakers, the EQTs, Ultra Boost, of course, I stay true to size, or I could even go up a half size. But with the original 350s, I actually went down to a 11 because they fit big. and there's not very much padding or anything on the inside. It's a very flimsy shoe, whereas the version 2, it has much more structure to the upper, and there's a lot more padding on the inside. I don't know if that's even viewable, but definitely a lot more padding, a lot more boost as well on this. So it's more comfortable than the previous one. Not sure how I feel about the stripe. I would have preferred this to be, or even just the words, just remove the words supply, 350 supply off of these. And personally they would look a lot better, but otherwise the shoe is extremely comfortable. I like that they fixed the issue with the midsole. On the original 350 it was just a painted midsole, so as soon as you walked, that paint came off, the entire bottom was just destroyed. These are like a translucent midsole. You can also see there's a lot more boost in these than the original 350, but they do fit snug, so you can get away with true to size, but I do recommend going up a half size on these. Most people have already done reviews on this shoe, so it's not something new, but had to include a pair of Yeezys in the top 16 of 2016. Number 10 of on the list is the only pair of DIADORAs that made the list. It is the LAMJC DIADORA S8000. It was a collaboration to commemorate the 10th anniversary of the All Gone sneaker book. Now this heel obviously says all, the other one would say gone, if I could find the other sneaker, but I don't currently have it. The shoe is basically a mix between, the upper here is all suede. It has on the heel and heel tab here you have leather, tumbled leather, and then same thing with the DIADORA logo. Gum bottom. We have the All Gone branding on the insole, and then we have the LAMJC embossed branding on the tongue. Very nice sneaker. They've come out with, I think, 10 different pairs this year, and one for each book. A leopard print pair just came out. There was a blue pair. There was a really nice pink pair as well. I missed out on those, but this sand pair, once I seen them, I had to get them immediately. So into the first pair of Nikes that made the list was the Nike Special Field Air Force 1 sneaker boot. This was an extremely hard sneaker to come by for anyone, as they were limited to just a few stores globally. Capsule being one of them in Canada, one of the only ones in Canada. Haven also, I think, got a couple pairs. They did have, Capsule had the launch in Toronto, and they invited, Capsule and Nike Toronto had invited some people. So this was the invite that you receive in the mail, which basically has the date and the time. So 8 p.m. November 3rd, 2016. So inside of this box was basically the address, letting you know where to go, and it came with a dog tag there, Special Field Air Force 1, and then on the back, which was a nice little touch, there was, if you can see that, try to focus, some coordinates back there, and if you actually enter those coordinates into your GPS, it'll take you to the exact location of the launch VIP party. So great job, Capsule and Nike, on the release of these. These came in, when they did first release, they did come out in 2 different men's colors. There was this black pair and an olive pair. And then there was a woman's bone and a brown pair. And then Complex Con had an all-white pair that had released as well, exclusively there at first, and the white pair has now obviously released at additional retailers. These also came with a bag, so the strap up here actually doubles as the straps, the handles on the bag. So very nice sneaker, and this was basically Nike's way of relaunching the Air Force One and basically building hype for 2017, because this year is the 35th anniversary of the Air Force One, and from what I remember, 10 years ago, for the 25th anniversary, Nike did do quite a bit. So this is Nike, you should see Nike releasing a lot more Air Force Ones, a lot more Air Force One collaborations this year for the 35th anniversary. Next on the list is the Air Max 1 ATMOS Safari re-release, basically, with a few modifications. The first time I saw these online on all the blogs and such, at first I was excited they were going to really re-release the sneaker, but I did notice they did make a few modifications to the original. Obviously the original had the gum bottom, whereas these have a translucent icy sole. And one of the biggest changes that a lot of people didn't like was the long-haired suede they used up on the upper, on the toe and right in this little window here. A lot of people ended up shaving that off. I'm obviously not going to go that far, but definitely glad to have these in my collection. They were, surprisingly, even though a lot of people, it was like a love-hate sneaker, a lot of people didn't like it, but they did sell out and were extremely hard to still come by. Resale price on this isn't too high, so if you are still looking for a pair, you could probably get them for about $250, maybe even less, but definitely one of my favorites this year. These have to definitely be one of my favorites I picked up. Obviously the entire list are my favorites of the year, but this specific shoe, it was the Olivier Rousteing. He's the creative director of Balmain, and he did a collection with Nike, releasing I think about 4 pairs of sneakers and then clothing capsule. So you don't, these didn't release anywhere in Canada or on Nike.ca. I had to order them from Colette in Paris, which I was lucky to be able to get a pair, but honestly, I haven't seen anybody in Toronto, at least, with a pair of these. They have really high-end detailing, obviously, due to the Balmain collaboration here. They got the gold zipper on the back with a leather strap that goes all the way up. Leather on the tongue here. I don't know. I guess the sock booty area with a gold button. They have gold lace tips on the laces, and the entire upper obviously is a FLYKNIT material, and the sneaker is, they used the free outsole, so it was the Nike FLYKNIT free Mercurial, basically sneaker boot, but it's an awesome sneaker, really comfortable. I did go up a half size, usually 11.5, but in these, because the back, when you zip it up, is so tight, going up a half size actually does help a bit. This pair is another pair I was really looking forward to when I saw pictures leaked on the internet. It's the Dave White Air Max 95. Now these released when I was in Europe, and I was just lucky enough to be, they were a size exclusive, so I was able to grab a pair. It's an awesome sneaker. It came in a 2-pack. There was this colorway and an orange color, so this was, in my opinion, the better of the two. Some pretty cool detailing. The air bubbles are actually pink along with the entire bottom, which is something that you don't see obviously when you're wearing it, but it's a nice little touch. The upper is made of canvas here. Then we have the long-haired suede on the tongue and on the back tab here. So, again, another shoe that we didn't get in Canada, which is a common theme here in collecting sneakers. I'm pretty much having to purchase all my sneakers outside of the country, either online or while traveling, or get a friend who lives out of the country or in another country to just pick them up for me, because we just don't get much. And if we do, it's extremely limited. We'll get 10 or 15 pairs of a sneaker. So people in the States, people in Europe, they're really lucky if they're collectors, because in Toronto it's pretty hard to get anything at this point. Number 15 on the list is one of 2 Jordans. Obviously the white cement 4 is an iconic, one of the classics. I did have the 2012 pair with the Jumpman on the heel. I wasn't 100% about getting these. I only got them when I went to the Jordan pop-up shop during All-Star Weekend. I took a look at them, and the leather is actually much nicer. I'm not sure if you can see this. Let me zoom in a bit. The leather on these is much nicer than the 2012 pair. That 2012 pair, honestly, when you compare them side to side, it looks and feels like plastic. Now, mind you, the 2012s were retailing for $190. These retailed for $295. So I'm not sure. Obviously, the price jump is $105 compared to the last retro. I don't know if there's $105 in additional quality on this sneaker, but I ended up selling my pair from 2012 and I ended up purchasing these, which I don't regret at all. Now, I was a little bit disappointed in the True Blues because the 2009 pair that I have were actually better quality than the recent retro. And for Jordan Brand to be charging $295 for a sneaker, at least in Canada, you would assume that it would be top-notch quality, like a pair of New Balances, Asics. They always have great quality on their sneakers. And I mean, New Balance, sometimes they do charge a premium, but obviously you're getting quality for that. With Jordan Brand, it's almost hit or miss. One shoe might be good, another won't. And last but not least on the list is the Jordan 2 QUAI or Kai, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, 54 collaboration. It's a street ball tournament in France that they have every year. And this year, this shoe, along with a couple others, was the exclusive sneaker. They had a Kobe as well, and then they also had a Friends and Family edition of the Kobe. But I was able to get these while I was in Paris, actually. I went to a store called Shinzo, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember the exact name. But they, surprisingly, they still had pairs left over. They were going for a little bit more than retail. I think I paid around $250 for them, but still much cheaper than what you find on eBay or anyone reselling these. So, all right, guys, thanks for tuning in. So that was my top 16 pickups of 2016. Like, comment, subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. Again, this was my first video, so hopefully they get better with time. But for now, I'm out, and I'm going to try to post hopefully at least one video a week if I learn how to do this whole editing thing. Okay? Alright.